With us Mr. Vivek Andhotra, General Manager, Reliance Retail. I welcome you, sir, for this podcast interview. Starting with your journey, sir, you are a proud alumnus of our IHM Bhopal. So, you were the student. So, how you see your journey from then till now?
So I think when I started my hotel management way back in '92, so the journey that time, as far as I was concerned, I was very enthusiastic about joining hotel industry. Uh, Maybe it was the glamour, or it was all the shine and the glow which comes along with the hotel industry, which is visible from the far end. So I was very enthusiastic. Though pre-hotel management, I had enrolled for medical studies, and unfortunately or fortunately, I dropped out in the first year because my interest always remained in customer facing or people facing interactive sectors. So, whereas in the first year of my medical studies, I realized it's not as much interesting as it would be, and it was dental surgery, so it was mostly to just keep the your focus mostly on the oral hygiene of the person than interaction. So, I was naturally inclined towards interactive and customer-facing sectors. That was my natural inclination that time. Probably I was an extrovert that time. It doesn't remain so now when you go to the journey. But my interests that time were about working in sectors which are more customer focused, customer facing, where you meet different kind of people, have different experiences. So that's where hotel management comes in, and of course it had a very shiny and a glowy face to it. So all the glamour pulled me in. So I was very enthusiastic when I joined my hotel management. Uh, so the path I had in mind was I'll do something in hotels, probably maybe front office or F&B. That was the focus when I was doing my hotel management. So the kitchen was also a little bit of interest, but F&B service and front office was something which I opted as focus areas for me. Now, once we did our hotel management, I would say the first 3 years in college were experience by itself. So those were not really something which I had expected, because first it gives you a lot about life skills. So hotel management and your hostel life teaches a lot about life skills other than just about academics. The industrial training and the caterings which we did part time to earn and for experience also taught us a lot. So a lot of myths about hotel management came apart during that duration of 3 years, and that's when during these 3 years we realized that hotel management is just not about studying a particular subject. It's a lot about how you lead your life, how you learn to judge people, understand people, and understand their needs and respond accordingly. So a lot about experience, about facing the customer, about meeting their expectations. So which is primarily giving service. So customer service. So once you understand the person, understand your customer, you are able to give service and you are able to meet their expectations. So these are basically certain life skills also, so which got developed during this period. And from there on, I started my journey in hotels. I joined as a management trainee for Sayaji, worked for a year or so. But Mumbai was always my calling, so I always wanted to be at the place which is the most glamorous, or has as the highest number of hotels and the highest number of 5 stars. And as far as experience for hotels is concerned, Mumbai was the best place to be. And I came into Mumbai and I started working for restaurants. Now, during the period of time in restaurants, I gradually moved into an entrepreneur role because the restaurants I was working for in Mumbai typically were on a model where uh, the landlords own the property and there's somebody else who runs the restaurant as a management. So, as it came along my way, 2 years down the lane, the management which was running the group of restaurants which I was working there as a manager fell out of favor with the landlord, and the landlord basically chose me and gave me the option to run the complete management for the hotels and the restaurant. So I entered into an entrepreneur role within 2 years of my passing out of my hotel management college. So almost within 3 years. So that was something which came into my way, probably because of my hard work or the commitment which the owners saw, and it was an entrepreneurial journey. So I was into hotels. I managed a group of restaurant, banquet, hotels for a couple of years, around 7-8 years within Mumbai. So that gave me an experience about complete management, administration, and other functions of the hotels as well. So that's a journey which helped me develop my skills beyond F&B service and front office also. Yeah, that's a very good question because there are myths around everything. So whether it's a headache or it's a job or it's a course, so there are always myths and confusion and different versions about it. So there are two kinds of things when you enter or probably you do any kind of course. One is what expectations you have or what you thought about. Now, today's time it's a digital world, and most of the things you browse, and there is AI, and you pick up everything probably before you enter something, and you study a lot about it. The times we were in was slightly different. All you can gain insights were maybe probably you read something or you went to a hotel, or you spoke to someone who's working there. So you develop a perception. Now that might be a myth that gets that you realize later on, right? So you're absolutely right. There were some myths as a student when I entered hotel management. As I told you, I was into the medical field for the first year I left. So I had a myth about medical field that got shattered down within the first year. Similarly, I had about hotel management. And then there are some myths which people carry about you now. So for example, if you're going to, my neighbor's son is going for a hotel management. So I would have certain assumptions or perceptions what he would be doing. So, but what matters is what yourself you feel about it, and what you experience. So from my point of view, I think one myth what got shattered was that it's all glamour, and everything what shines is not gold. Okay, so behind the facade, behind the smile, there is a kitchen and there is a housekeeping. So life is tough, and there is no substitute for hard work, slogging. That's the word. So that was one thing I realized, though it was not a myth. I did realize that hard work always needs to be put in, and that's very essential. But the best part is if you have passion for it, if you're liking for something, if you love doing something, or if you want to learn or gain experience, you will put in your hard work. You will put in your that hard work. The kind of things you have to do, you have to keep your ego aside. You have to keep all your facade aside. I belong to here, I belong to there, your history, your family, whatever that is. That grande has to be kept aside once you enter any work. And especially hotel management, hospitality taught me that, to keep your ego aside and give in your best, put in hard work. So I think that was one myth. And second, of course, about again the life you lead. Once I am out of college, I'll be flying with bikes and cars and enjoying. Life's not that. There's a grind which you have to go through, and there is certain amount of sacrifice which is required. So my advice is the sacrifice you need to put in. I think your 20 to 30, 35 is the age when nature gives you that strength, physical strength to go through the grind. So that's a problem of plenty, and I think that's a nice problem to have. So I will take it that way, you know. And many people have a third option also. So there is a lot of talk about startups, entrepreneurship, and people want to immediately after college they want to do something of their own. So I think there are three different challenges which people typically have while passing out. So I would not say, okay, there's a hotel industry, hotel job, hotel empty job, and then there's a retail job, and then there's probably a empty job in a BPO or a customer service telecom company, or so. There would be different options. So one, that problem of plenty is a nice problem to have. Secondly, I would, and the fourth one, of course, you have something in mind that I'll do something of my own. Right, so entrepreneur is something which is again, and going into a startup. So India is becoming a startup culture, startup country with so many startups. So there are, I think, 3-4 different things in the mind of a student who's passing out. That's what I can see. That's what your question is, and that's what I can see in the students or the MTs which we also get into our company. So many of them, while working, they're evaluating whether they should do. So what they pick up from the job here, they kind of evaluate whether that's relevant for them to do something of their own. And that's a very good thing which has come up recently. When we were working, when I was into entrepreneur thing, the startup thing was not there as such, and investment opportunities didn't really exist in a format, in a structured format. Now there are investors, venture capitalists, there are angel investors you will find if you have an idea or something. So during our times, those infrastructures or those things didn't used to exist. So it's a good thing that it exists now. So here we're talking about choices a person or a student should make while he's passing out. So one is again my submission to the students is that look where your passion lies, look where your interest lies. Okay, and I would suggest for them to look at long-term career prospect. The first is, of course, your passion and your liking. So if you enter into retail, or probably if you're entering into retail, it will be slightly more data oriented. It will be slightly more Excel oriented, and probably if you're entering into a company which is more SOP led, culture led company. So those are the kind of decisions you should make. Where does your interest and passion lie? So probably retail, there is a strict inventory management module which you need to learn into if you are to succeed. So my suggestion is that ideally look at the sectors, what are the requirements of those sectors, and if you have a natural inclination, or if you have an interest, or if you can develop a passion towards that. You kind of develop passion during your course of journey. You enter into a job which you think is interesting, and then during that time you might or might not, but the thing has to be of your liking. Those subjects or those parameters have to be of your liking. So hotel, retail, I think, or aviation or customer service, I think money should not be the criteria. The company you are entering into, what's the culture of the company, what are your growth prospects, and what are your interests basically. If you're not interested, if you don't have a orientation of numbers or data, probably you will find a challenge somewhere down the line in retail. Numbers and data is of course important for hotel industry also, but there are certain other skill sets which you can take you ahead in hotel management. But as far as retail is concerned, there will be certain, especially the back-end jobs and the supply chain, logistics, and other jobs. There is certain amount of data and those inventory management, other kind of things. So probably you need to look at your interest levels, where your natural inclination is, where your passion lies, and then look at the company, the culture, and your future growth prospects.